Hi, coaches. As you may be already aware, Teamsnap is a great tool to manage your roster, your team's availability, keep your stats, all that stuff. But you also may not know that you can do a lot of customization to it to fit your team's need. So this video is just a real quick video to show you some of those customizations that you may like to do. So for me, for example, I like to change the color to match my team name. So this year, this team's Real Madrid. I like to put what season of the year it is. I like to put the logo in, change the color scheme, have a team picture once I have one. Just little things. So the way you can do this is simply go to your Manager tab. And on your Manager tab, you will see that you can edit this. And so you can go in and you can start to add in information. So here's where I'm putting in the season this is, the level. I put in my default home uniform and away uniform, so when the emails go out about your upcoming games, they already include that information. I find a logo that's appropriate for the team, usually the team name, and then once I have a picture, I can go ahead and put the picture in down here. When I'm done with that, I can also change other preferences on the screen. So for example, all kinds of preferences exist about do you email automatically, right? Do you set availability to yes by default, which I don't do. Do you show the scores? Do you have page headers? Then you can also turn on all your tabs. So I don't use assignments, so I take that off. But I have photos, statistics, tracking, and availability on. But I don't assign like snack time to parents. But if you wanted to, you could use the assignments tab to do that. And then if you want to, you can create your own custom fields, which I don't use. And then finally, you can't do seasons, not an option. But what this allows us to do then is to basically control what tabs are visible up top to your team, and then put in some of those logos and things we discussed. To change your team color on your tab, you go to the Manager tab, Site Preference, and you'll see here a color scheme, and then you can select the different options here. So in my case, so I just did aqua blue. Let's go something a little bit more radically different so we can see a difference here. Let's go purple. And then I'll do a home, and hopefully it'll update on the screen here, the color. Give it a second here. Yeah, so you can see that goes really different. Now in my case, the best color for my team and the color of Real Madrid was the default Teamsnap color here. So I'm going to go back there and save it. But that's how you can change your color and adjust to fit whatever personality you have, or if you want to match your team color. All right, the next thing we're going to do is just go through a quick list of features so you understand what's available to you. So rostering, I'm not going to click on this directly because I don't want you to see my team players' names. But in your roster space, you have options to track a lot of information, including positions players play and their jersey number, which I like to do. So if I can get their jersey number, I'll put it in. So by default, first name, last name, and different fields will be filled in automatically. But you go down to options, you can do jersey number and you can do positions. So I like to do this. It helps me understand what I have on my team, and helps hopefully the parents that cheer along better, because I can say, oh, it's number 57. That's so and so on the team. So I like to do that. On your schedule, you will be asked to add some things to your schedule, such as your games. So this is what my schedule looks like. So today is today. Um, what I like to do is I like to go in, and if I have a new game, I like to put my time of my game in, and then who I'm playing. If your opponent does not appear on your screen, you can select new opponent and just add them. So you can see these non-league people are me adding opponents to the system that don't exist otherwise. But I can select opponent and select location. And again, if the where you need to play it is not listed on the screen, you can add your own. So like we're gonna play at Holland Park tonight, which was not in the system. Then I can say details. So I like to do the field number, and then I like to tell what jersey we are, which by default, because I set it up to say that that's yellow gold, and then game duration, and I want to arrive 20 minutes early, and then I can add notes to it. So sometimes I'll put tentative if I think we're going to reschedule a game. Sometimes I have optional. Sometimes we'll do a friendly game. Sometimes I'll put rescheduled, just things like that. I'll put different information in. If the game doesn't count in your standings, you can just select that and it won't show up in your standings. You can use a flag to indicate if it's a game or not. I use the defaults that show up for games and practices. And then I add notes, tell it I want to track availability. And if I feel good about everything, I say notify your team. And that sends an email out to your parents immediately telling them that the team is ready, or that there's something new on the schedule. And you can save and create another. The other option you have is to do practices. The nice thing about practices is that they can be repeatable. So if you do have something that's happening every week, you can say it's weekly repeatable until a certain date. Select the end of the season essentially, say what it is, and put it in. So in my case, this right here is a repeatable event, and my team practices are repeatable events that I can update and edit. If I need to cancel anything, I can select it later on, select edit, and I can come down here and show this event is canceled. And then it'll tell me if I were to actually do this, it'd say, do you want to notify your team? I can put a reason in, and I can say just cancel this event, not all the events in the string of them, even though they're all connected and related to each other. Um, oh, I want to stay off that available tell. I don't want to show you guys that because that's player names. So availability will have player names, but it'll show you who's marked themselves as available. Some parents will use this feature, some will not. I try to encourage it. What I get instead, I usually send an email out a couple days before each game and say, hey, is your kid going to be available? Please let me know if they're not. And then anyone tells me they're not going to be available, I mark as not available for the game. And if they, and anyone who kind of tells me they don't ever respond, I assume they are available. That's how that works. Tracking is a feature for you to track, anything you want to track. I don't use it, but if you have something you want to track, you can do that. Create something and track it. You won't use invoicing. Statistics by default won't have any statistics. The player name, you can decide what you want your stats to be. I personally like goals, assists, saves, goals against, and shutouts. That's the only stats I like to track. Pretty easy as a coach to know who got an assist and who got a goal, etc. And then I basically keep it up to date game by game. But if I wanted to add new stats here, you can see there's new statistics, and I can literally come in and say what it is and fill out all these different fields and create it. They are also default soccer stats if you just start from fresh, so you can select that, and then I delete anything I don't want to track, because I don't want to track yellow cards, I don't want to track red cards, I don't want to track shots on goal, because I just don't have the energy or time to keep all that different items. But you can also reorder them and put them in different orders if you would like. Tons of great features if you're into this kind of stuff. You can do game stats here. So in this case, we scored a goal. We had 8 saves. We had 1 goal against. And then because my goalkeepers play a half of each game, I give one goalkeeper a shutout for not giving up a goal in their half. Same kind of thing here. And we just kind of go down the list. And then overall team stats I don't have defined, but these would be things like how many corner kicks did you win? How many fouls did you commit? But I don't track that data. In the media folder, you can create a new album and you can put pictures in it if you'd like. So I just have a couple team pictures I took. Parents can add pictures as they want. Some teams I've had have been really productive and have used a lot of that. Some have not. You can also do videos, any files you want. And then finally on the message area, I particularly like using the message feature to email more than the chat feature because I can track it. So I will just send notices out and I can always track what's going on here. An email, talking about tournament availability, upcoming practices and game schedules, our games this week, and then I talk about what we did in practice and why. And I try to send those out, every Thursday during the season because we've already had 2 practices and our last game occurred over the weekend usually. So just kind of a way to kind of keep parents knowing what's going on. There are chat features using your phone. Yeah, you can use those if you like. They're convenient for last minute details, but I don't like trying to track all that and then come back to availability. I like the emails better for me personally. You can also send out alerts like, hey, it's lightning at the field, come get your kid. You could send that out. Or you could do post a message board postings. If you had conversations that were ongoing and planning needing to occur, this might be better, but I've actually never had a team use that. So that's some of the features you might be interested in Teamsnap and help you'll get you going.